Mike, you're good. Troy, good. All right, Coach.
All right, good to see everybody. Great night for football in the state of Arizona. Obviously, Friday Night Lights, Arizona Stadium version, but we also got high school playoff football everywhere. So what a great night. First, I got to say, Zona Zoo, our students, just incredible how they show up for this team every week. They were awesome. They were making noise. I thought our band was awesome. And for the people that showed up, thank you. Thank you for supporting these kids. Thank you for supporting this team. It is important and it's so impactful. And so I just want to say thank you to them. I thought our defense was lights out. You hold a team to 3 points. You force multiple turnovers. You force multiple 4 and outs. Turnover on downs, and that was just outstanding. And then I thought our offense, it was good to see us find some rhythm and move the football consistently. I thought that was encouraging. I thought Joey Capra stepping in there at right tackle did a great job, and obviously there's going to be stuff that he can fix, but he was a player that joined us August 5th, and so I thought that was awesome how he just played such a prominent role in this game tonight. Just a lot of fun stuff. Tyler Luke with the school record, a 62-yarder. Just awesome to just kind of ending the half that way with some momentum. It was really, really exciting. So we're fired up. It feels good. Everyone is, the locker room is just electric, and we were super focused on just getting one. Like, we had to get one. Now we get to enjoy this for 24 hours, and then it's on to the next.
Okay, we'll start with Brian.
Does it feel like there's just kind of like a weight lifted off your shoulders that had maybe built up during this losing streak? And as you said, it's one game, but that's something you can build off of where it was hard to build off of?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think anytime you go through a hard time like that, it's just how quickly can you get to the next opportunity to have a chance to prove yourself. And I thought our players responded great tonight. After the challenge of just how frustrated we were coming out of the UCF game, and just the way the team responded in practice. I think that just gets lost. Everybody says we have to practice hard and blah, 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 and you guys get sick of me saying that, and I get that. But the reality is the only way to get better is by practicing hard and doing the things that matter in the practice environment, and bringing the right energy and the intention to the practice environment. And that's what they did all the last 2 weeks. So we're fired up, man.
Justin?
One of those key defensive players was Genesis Smith. Can you talk about the impact that he made tonight?
It's awesome. I mean, I think we all just continue to see Genesis grow and develop as a really good player. Obviously, some of that is he's kind of thrust in some action by some of the injuries that we had early on. Like, all of a sudden he's playing more and more and more and more. But he continues to find the football. He continues to make plays behind the line of scrimmage. He's a guy that we absolutely depend on. And hopefully you guys get to talk to him this week, because he is one of the most engaging and energetic young people I've ever been around on the football field. Like, just watching him at practice or watching him on game day, his energy is contagious. It's awesome.
And then for Quali, after fumbling the previous 2 games, what did it mean for him and you to see him go out and perform like that?
Yeah, it's great. Like I said before, Quali's a player that we've handed the ball to a lot of times in the last 2 years, and he had never fumbled before the first one. Then he fumbled in the next game, right? So for him to be detailed about his ball security, and obviously that's something that we hammered a lot of the fundamental work we did during the bye week. But it was great to see it pay off tonight, and it was great to see him, see that counter play pop and see him house it was really exciting, because we hadn't gotten out in the run game like that. So I'm really happy for Quali.
Michael?
It looked like you guys used a defense often that caused a lot of confusion for their quarterback. What were your thoughts on Coach Aquina's game plan and then the execution of that game plan?
Well, I think that that call obviously gave us something in the game. I thought the players did a great job of executing it. The pressure of it and being able to get to the quarterback, just trying to change up the rhythm and the timing of the pass game was obviously effective. And so, I think it's all good when it works, right? So, we spend 16, 20 hours a day drawing up plays and ideas that we think will give us a chance to play good football or attack our opponent, and when it doesn't work, you're like, oh, dang, that was a good idea. We thought it was, but then something happens and you get cut out of a gap and the thing houses. So, but tonight, We had good gap integrity, and then I thought our guys just played incredibly hard. And that was like the one thing I said coming out of this game. It needs to look like on tape that we're playing harder than them. That's it. That was the only standard I gave the team for tonight. Like, we need to play harder than our opponent.
Middle row, left side here.
So just going off of Tyler Lue's field goal again, how impactful was that, and what was your message to the team going into halftime?
So like coming out of halftime?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I reiterated my point from the first, from before we went out there was, number one, when we turn on this film tomorrow, it needs to look like we played harder. And then number two, the only way we're going to get it done is by playing for each other and getting it done together. That's it. Play for each other, do it together. And that was really it. And I thought they did a great job of that.
Troy?
You guys had one of your better third down performances of the season offensively, 10 of 17. What went behind that success?
I think we had some good calls in there. I think Coach Atkins and the staff had some really good calls. And then I thought when we had to run the ball on some of those third and shorts, we found a way. We had some hard runs in there. A couple times Noah was able to get us scramble and get us a first down when the protection broke down or when nobody was open or they called a good defense for what we called, right? And then Noah found his way to a first down. I think obviously when Noah gets off schedule, he can do some stuff that's really exciting. And so that was really fun.
Juan?
Going off of the defensive performance, you consistently had 8 in the box. Was that part of the game plan or just something that presented itself as the game progressed?
Well, that was part of the game plan just because of all the quarterback run, right? And so that's something I talked about, I know, with the media, at least on Wednesday or Thursday. But that's one of the things that you have to stop with them is the quarterback run, right? And he's obviously a good player. And anytime people run the quarterback, they're always trying to get the numbers to even or they're trying to get +1 in the run game. And so how do you slow that down? You got to add people to the core. Now, in order to do that, you have to be able to cover outside. So a lot of credit goes to those guys in the secondary that had to cover down, whether that's Takario or MGK or Owen or Jack or sometimes the linebackers, Dalton, whatever. But that those guys, as that expands or as you put more people into the core, right? Those people outside got to be able to hold up.
Chris?
So at halftime, the Pride of Arizona Marching Band was presented with the Sutler Trophy. It's often referred to as the Heisman of Collegiate Marching Band. It's a once-in-a-lifetime award. You can only win it once. What does it mean to you, and to the football program, and to the university, to see the Pride of Arizona get an honor like that?
It's so special, and we spoke about it last week, but the funny thing about the band is that, like, they practice crazy. Like, we have so much respect for them. The amount of time and effort they put into all those things, we have so much respect for those students and for their coaches. I mean, those guys are awesome. And Desiree and I went and spoke to them at the beginning of the season. You want to talk about energy. Like, that room had crazy juice. Like, they were like so much fun. And so, and that shows up. And I think when you attack whatever you're doing, whether it's, being a member of the band or being a member of the football team, with that kind of enthusiasm, the results are going to be good.
Back row, middle.
The team gave up 56 points at UCF a couple weeks back. How did that maybe impact the defense and make such a turnaround, if it did?
That's a good question. I think the UCF thing, they just got after us, and I think anytime you get beat like that, it's an opportunity for you to really look at yourself. The bye week obviously helped. And for the players to all look at themselves and be like, what can I do better? As coaches, what can we do better? That gives us a chance to not have the scoreboard look that way. And lots of times when scores, when there's a number like that in a game, people, want to blame the defense. But as a coach, like, to me, that's a whole team score. Because when that happens, that means the offense isn't moving the ball effectively enough to offset some of that, the scoring that's being done. You're not complimentary football, which I thought we did a good job of that tonight.
Brian?
I think Coach Aquino said the other day that the last 6 quarters before this one, there were about 7 opportunities to get a takeaway. Either you couldn't fall on the ball, or couldn't not get the interception. Getting the 3, especially the one right away, how important did that help just kind of set the tone?
Absolutely. And the turnovers and takeaways is something that we put such an emphasis on as a program. And in those previous 6 quarters, to not get any of those 7 Like all of those are just momentum plays, right? They just change the game. They might just change it for temporarily, but it's a huge moment in the game. And so, I think the conversation all, the last 2 weeks, even our conversation today, pregame before we left the hotel, was a lot about protecting the football and taking it away. There's a huge emphasis on that. And so it's great to see that when the things that you're emphasizing show up in the game.
And with Tyler's kick there, did you have an idea that once you got to a certain point, you were going to let him fly on that one at the end? I know you were trying to get more yardage.
Yeah, we were just trying to get a little bit more yards because I burned the timeout because I didn't want to have to. I didn't think we could get a play called and and have the ball be downed and then call a timeout in time. So if the ball ended up in the middle of the field, so I called the timeout then. And so that's what Coach Atkins and I were talking, and I'm like, let's put the ball somewhere on the sideline or it's out of bounds, and we'll swing at it from wherever we were. And that's what we did. We'll swing at the field goal.
Then adding to Tyler Luke there, just having that moment, hard work he's put in with this team and this program, hitting that 62-yard field goal, it's a school record for the program. So just your thoughts on that for.
Well, none of it's surprising to anybody that's ever around Tyler. You know what I mean? He's an incredibly hard working young man. I've heard him say a couple times, because we were talking pregame, probably like 20 minutes before kickoff. And I said, I felt the wind in there, and I said, how you hitting the ball? And he said, I'm good. I've been working on, he normally hits the ball with a little bit of a draw. And he said, he's like, I'm hitting it really straight. Like I've been working really hard on this, trying to like eliminate that draw and be able to pound it, down Main Street. And I said, well, multiple times you've told me that you don't have to be a great kicker, you have to be a great adjuster. And I think, like, what a cool thing to think about, right? For him, it's like a golf swing, right? That it's like constant adjustment, as he's taking these shots in pregame and practice and all these things. And I think when you have that kind of attention to detail and you have that mindset that like, no, I can fix this if I'm making the proper adjustments as I'm going, then you end up with an incredibly high caliber player like him.
Justin?
As far as the holdo on the one in the first half, the third straight game when you've had something like that, is that more on Salgado Medina, the snap, like what's going on?
Michael just dropped the ball.
Okay.
That's it.
And it's the first time in over a month that you guys have a win in the celebratory locker room. What was that moment like for you?
It's fantastic. It's awesome. Like for me, this thing is never about me. It's about those kids, and it's about seeing them smile and hug each other and dance and jump around and throw water like that. Like I'm just happy for them, like just to see that excitement again on their faces, that hope on their faces is just really special.
Last